The chair of the Charter Commission of why you're not using the CPI. I went to the wonderful internet yesterday and got my copy of the CPI over the last year, the 09 year, for Minneapolis, St. Paul, and guess what? It's a negative number, negative 0.9. I think that's why you're not using the CPI. And the chair made a great point, if I may piggyback on his comment, is that was the standard that was used by this board until Tom Horner came to town and told you needed a 20% pay increase. We know at least who one of his clients is. This matter before you this morning seeks to raise your pay $1,648. I suggest that you go back to the CPI, accept the reality of this economy, that we are in negative ground, and as representatives of the people, you know, this is the Urban Wage Earners Index. There are other indexes within the 48 pages of that report that you could choose to use. But since you're putting yourself in the position of employees and as opposed to public servants, I would say the CPI sets the ground rules quite well. And in that case, you should be looking at an $824 reduction in your pay. And that's frankly very minimal. Congress, whom we don't look to today for many examples of how to conduct our affairs, in fact, I'll just step back and say Congress from 1932, about the time they were building the building we're standing in today here, they took a pay cut. They noticed that there was a Great Depression, that government austerity was called for, that we were in hard times, that this was not business as usual, and they cut their pay 10%. And the next session, they cut it 5% more. And they didn't increase their pay back until, I believe it was 1935. So folks, you can raise your pay, and you can send a lousy signal to your employees and to your taxpayers. Or you can do something to try and correct Mr. Horner's era and the era that you made by departing from the CPI. The CPI works. It's not unreasonable. Unfortunately, it is negative. Hopefully, times will improve. Thank you for your kind attention this morning.
Thank you. Andy Noble.